This. Oh,
What
you're
is
going
this?
front and center. You're going front and center today,
I'm
Cody.
going front and center. I
Look at
don't know.
you.
I don't know why it defaulted to that.
Vern's not here, and you're taking over. All good. We got a great episode today. Let me tell you, you are going to learn Austin, Corey, Nick, because we got DT back in the house, and we're going to get a peek inside the brain of Denise Thomas when it comes to lesson planning. No one is doing this. Let's say that. No one is doing this in the CrossFit space. This is going to be the most educational thing you can do in CrossFit right now. This next hour of your lives. Candy, Joby, Cody, DT. You guys have got this full setup. This is impressive. Cody and DT did this.
We've been working on this for a month.
Has it? It's okay. I feel now like it's not that good if it's taken you a month. I feel like it should be better. If you could have been like, hey, it took us about 8 minutes, I've been like, this is awesome. A month? This is subpar. DT, you ready for this? We're putting you on the spot.
I'm going to call a tech team.
Yeah, we do.
I am.
We need a geek
squad. We're calling
a
tech team. I am ready. I'm very ready. I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
So we've got 2 workouts. Both. Do you know both of the workouts already that we're going to do, DT?
Cody gave me some ideas. There was a little bit of back and forth, but I think I know the 2 that we're going with.
We got them.
He also told me I wasn't allowed to prepare.
Well, that's what I want. And I know as soon as so one of them is going to be the CrossFit Total. And then the other one was sent in by a watcher, a viewer, a subscriber, if you will.
Yeah, a fan.
A fan. Who was that?
I'll have to pull it up. Give me just a sec. I'll pull up.
Okay, well, don't say it yet. So does DT know that one yet?
Yeah, we got him.
Okay, she knows it. So, DT, I want you to pretend like you know, like forget everything. You know it's the total, but I want to hear like start to finish. So, Cody, we digging right into this? Do we have any questions? Are we ready to rock and roll with it?
No, I mean, like I think one thing we need to touch on is like why we're doing this. Like, why are we even having this show?
I don't know.
Why are we doing this show, Jason?
I got plenty of other things to do. Why are we having this? And where's Fern? Where's Fern?
Where is Fern?
He's just no show, no call, no show. He's fired. No, Fern and Marcus are at a summit in California. I opted out. I'd rather be in my basement. But here's what I think. DT, you fill in the rest. I think if we're looking at the theoretical hierarchy of the development of an athlete, DT knows the foundation is nutrition. Then we've got Metcon, gymnastics, then weightlifting, then sport, right? And I think if we were going to kind of come up with the theoretical hierarchy of an effective class, the foundation would be your lesson plan. What do you think, DT?
Yeah, and I think depending on where you are in your journey, that lesson plan needs to change too. I think in the beginning, you just need 1 or 2 staples that are going to keep you on track, not overthink it. And then as you start to get a little bit more experience, you can layer in with some focuses and maybe rep schemes, which seems like not a lot when you're a beginner, but I think just call the reps you need to see what you need to see. But then you get more intermediate, you can be like, these are the amount of reps I need. And then on the more advanced level, you're thinking about all encompassing lesson plans, from who's your people to all the logistics and time allocations and scales and managing ego and all the things. And that's all just adding a cherry on the top. But yeah, there's so many ways to look at lesson plans for sure.
Cool. Yeah. And Corey, DT said she will post on her Instagram in her stories at the end what this setup actually looked like. I don't know that she can take a picture of it because I'm pretty sure she's using her phone in the setup. How many devices are we using right now, DT, for you?
This is device overload for me. I've got an iPad, a pen, an iPhone, and my laptop, my big screen, and my Loom camera light. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. So let's dig in. Cody, anything to add to that? Any other thoughts about that? I mean, this is the foundation, and I think, in my opinion, DT is the expert here, right? DT, when it comes to coaching CrossFit, period, but certainly when it comes to lesson plans, I would literally put her. You are the best in the world. Like, that's how amazing is that? Like, you are the best in the world at something.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I definitely have done a lot of lesson planning, and I think maybe back in 2015, I helped bring it to the forefront. But I'm sure there's people out there that are really freaking good. We just have not seen their stuff. But
That's
I
not
don't
true,
know.
Cody.
Yeah.
Will you Google who the best at lesson plans in the world is? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's DT.
I want to
We'll
see
pull
who
that
that is.
up. Pull that up, Cody. All right, so let's Here's what I want. I imagine this like the old school level 2, right? Like, tell me what's happening in your brain as we go through it. I'll ask questions. Cody will ask questions. If you're watching this, please ask questions. And let's kick off with the CrossFit Total, because it's obviously a classic. It is the CrossFit Total, but it's also one of those workouts that most affiliates never run, or if they do, it's not in the 1 hour slot. I've done it. I used to program it, and we used to run it within an hour. And I want to see what that would look like for DT. So, blank slate. DT, tomorrow you're coaching the CrossFit Total. First thought that comes to mind, before you write anything down, what's immediately going through your head?
Well, first thing I would do is write it down. I'd write down exactly what it is. But
okay, if you
I
want
would
to
think then
talk and write at the same time, that's cool. I'll get you rid of your
gotta use all my electronics, Cody. I gotta lose my electronics. Okay.
And then DT,
So
when we're done with this, you're running it twice in March. Awesome, Joby. When you're done with this, will you also screenshot and post this, and maybe we can collab it on Best Hour or something? Can you guys coordinate that? Yeah, cool. All right.
So we've got a CrossFit Total, which consists of 3 lifts: back squat, shoulder press, there's a strict military press, and a deadlift. And I think it's also important to know how this is scored. So it's going to be 3 attempts to get your heaviest lift with good form, and that can't be understated. So it's just going to be 1 rep of each.
She does have great handwriting, huh? Look at this handwriting, penmanship.
Yeah. So now I've done that, I'm thinking, who am I coaching? Because if I had a bunch of Jason Ackermans, man, it'd be like, get the bar, let's go, let's get hot,
let's go heavy.
But reality is, let's go heavy. But the reality is, we're gonna have a diverse group of people in front of us, from somebody that may have only done CrossFit a few times or new, to people that are 6 months in, to people that have been doing it 10 plus years. So I'm thinking about who is the majority experience level in the class. And if I'm not sure, I'm just going to go with a nice simple plan and speak to that intermediate level athlete that could probably do all this as it is, but obviously the load would be the thing that would just change. If it was a beginner, and they're just real new, I may just up the volume for each one and give them 3 sets of 5 as their 3 lifts, just so I can see them moving a little bit more and they get a little bit more of a movement pattern. And light loads, just tell them exactly what weight they're going to do and keep it light. So that's really what I'm thinking about, is who's in the class, because that's going to then tell me, how do I format this? Because like you said, Jay, this class is a nightmare to run in 60 minutes. And quite honestly, to do it really, really well is really hard. You have to almost let go of some things, like coach-led warm-ups, which is my favorite thing. I like to control the class and hold people. So I'm thinking, well, what can I do where I get to see everybody doing these lifts under maybe an empty barbell or a light load, and then I have to give them time to just go do the thing with some weight and get it lifted up. There's many ways you could do it, right? We could build up We could do an empty barbell. We could get some touches on each lift while we increase loads on each lift. Then you're like, well, how do I do that? Well, I'm going from the ground, I'm going from the shoulders, I'm going from the rack. And then just give them a certain amount of time for each lift, like 8 minutes back squat, 8 minutes shoulder press, 8 minutes deadlift. I don't like that because I think there's too much back and forth before we get into the workout. So I think to do this at first, and I'll put up my timeline so that it's easy for us to see.
Well, and while you're drawing a little bit, let's touch on a couple of things you said. One, yes, full disclosure, this is a logistical nightmare. I'll give you kind of the time frames I've run in the past, but I also think, Joby said he's running this twice in March. I do think the Total is one of those workouts similar to the Open where it might be like, hey, from 4 to 7 p.m. tonight, the coach is on the floor. We've got a good warm up, written on the board for you. And you're more like floating around, like help, like come in with your buddy, grab a rack. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Something you did say that I think does go unnoticed with the Total is it is written as 3 attempts. It's not written as work up to a 1 rep max. It's 3 attempts to find your best lift. So if it's taking you too long, most likely you're just, going for that. Now, full disclosure, I like to give a bonus lift. If someone's feeling good and they feel like they can go for a PR, go for it. I'm not going to take that away from you, but it is written as 3 attempts. The second thing I think you said that I don't think we should brush over because it's kind of like next level is you're thinking about who's there. And this doesn't necessarily make sense for everyone. So you have a plan of like, hey, it's a 3x5 for some people, or it's, lesser weight, lesser reps, whatever that looks like. So you can get somebody who's brand new coming in, moving well, not intimidated, and also establishing something. Maybe it's just a heavy 5, but now all of a sudden they have 3 movements that they have something to consider in the future when these movements come up again.
Mm-hmm. For new people, it's about them being involved, getting a little exposure, feeling included, and feeling like that they belong there. So you have to prepare. I had a brand new person in my class today, brand new. I said, what was your experience before today in exercise, before coming to CrossFit? He's like, there wasn't any. So not just brand new, but completely, there's no exercise. So you have to think about these things. But we get back to this. So building the lesson plan here, I'm going to take off. No, I like 3 to 5 minutes at the beginning for whiteboard briefs. I try to keep it to 3 minutes and then use that 2 minutes as breathing space, but I allot for 5. I'm not doing that today. Today is going to be this brief has to be done in 3 minutes because there's just no time for us to spend to take it from anywhere else. So I'm going to immediately take 3 off right here. I call that the whiteboard brief. And what happens here at the whiteboard brief is we can get into the weeds on this. They just need to know what this looks like, how we do it, and then what the big focus across the day is. So for me, and I usually write this in red in my lesson plan, that the focus today is going to be spines and range of motion. Spines meaning there can be no rounded backs in the squat at any moment of the lift. There can be no rounded backs in the deadlift at any moment in the lift. And there can be no hyperextension of the spine in the press. So spines. And that's what I'm going to be looking at because there's so much going on. I don't want to get into the more minor errors, but spine is going to be the thing. And then range of motion, that's critical. Pain-free range of motion. So below, crease of the hip below the knee on the back squat, standing up all the way if you want to continue to add load. I need your arms fully locked out over your head with a neutral spine if you want to add load. And for the deadlift, we need to make sure that we're able to maintain neutral spine, stand up all the way. We can drop from the top, so no big deal. So that's going to be the big focus. And I want them to know that at the whiteboard. So when I come up to them and I'm like, drop the bar, or, no more weight, they understand because we made that commitment to each other at the beginning of the class. So
can I put you on the spot? Can I put you on the spot here?
Yeah.
Give us your whiteboard brief.
Okay, hold on.
I know you kind of touched on some of it.
Let's see if it's 3 minutes. Because
Oh, she wants to be on the clock.
This is where my timeline goes to die.
All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, everybody, welcome to one of the best workouts we can do in CrossFit. It's the Total. It's a classic benchmark. And today we're going to go through 3 lifts, a back squat, a shoulder press, and a deadlift. And the goal for you is to get 3 attempts in each lift, and you're going to track, or you're going to log your heaviest lift in each one of those movements. You're going to get a little bit of time to warm up before we hit those singles, but that's the goal. And today the focus is going to be making sure that we're in optimal positions and hitting optimal range of motion so that we can continue to add load and move safely. So to me, it's not impressive if you're lifting a weight and you're showing me big errors. I want to see you moving well and with the weight. So what do these movements look like? Well, we've got a back squat, and I just go down, come up, show them the depth. Shoulder press. Notice I don't bend my knees. It's just a straight press. And then we've got a deadlift from the ground. There we're doing that. Now, don't worry about how this is going to work in the workout. I'll take you through it. All I need to know right now is if you have some kind of injury or limitation that's going to prevent you from having a bar on your back and taking your hips below parallel, or having a bar on your shoulders and taking your hands from shoulder to overhead, or pulling an object from the ground. If that is going to cause you any pain, please let me know, and we're going to make sure that we try to maintain the function of each one of these as best we can. And if we can't, we'll just give you something else for the day. But the focus today is heavy while moving well, protecting your spines, going through range of motion, and getting something on the board that maybe we haven't done in a while. But last thing, we're not looking for you to max out and get your best 1 rep max ever. You've got 3 big lifts back to back to back, and that's going to take a lot out of you, even though you might not feel it. So we're going to rock and roll. Here's what you need. Boom, boom, boom. I give them next steps.
Just over 2 minutes, barely. So nailed it.
And there'd probably be a little, chit chat in between there.
Yeah, that
was
3 minutes. A little more fluff because you're talking to people. Maybe a question. Hey, what's a back squat again? I've never done this before. We did it 3 days ago, Sally. But yeah, that was fantastic. And like you said, maybe this is the day your whiteboard brief gets a little shortened and a little less fluff because we got 57 minutes of work. All right, digging in. Expectations.
It has to be. And Austin, the app that I use is Notability. That's what I'm using on my iPad.
What's your code when someone signs up for Notability? Is it DT lesson plan and you get 25%?
I wish that would be great, but no. All right, so we've got the whiteboard brief. Now, I love having 10 minutes at the end of my classes, and I fall short a lot of the time. So I would normally plan to be done right here at like the 50-minute mark, but not today. Today, I'm going to steal quite a bit of time because even though we do need to still come together, get scores, clean up, do the thing, have some fun, it's not like we're trying to cool down from a metabolic conditioning workout. So it is a little bit different, and I'm okay with that. So today, I'm going to aim for 55. To be done at the 55, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Well, we're going to do scores, clean up, and stretch if we need to. Yep, 5 minutes right there. Now, how long do we need for this workout? I've ran this before a very long time ago at Reebok CrossFit One. I don't think I've run it since I left there. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I want to do a general warm up. I'm always thinking that. Now I'm getting, I'm over 40 and I need to get a little bit in there. I said this to my class today. I was like, you guys are lucky that I'm older now because I would never go through a flow stretch. So you're welcome. But I would think in my mind, I would want to do some kind of, the world's greatest stretch, something like that. I would do some push-ups just to warm up the shoulders. And then I would do some inchworms to get into the hip and the lower back and hamstrings. And then I think I would finish with a squat to stand, where you put your fingers under your toes and you pull yourself into a squat and you extend your hips. So I'm going to put that down on my lesson plan, because in my mind, that's what I really want to happen. But I think also in my mind, I know I'm going to have to like get rid of it when I see how little time I have. So normally I don't do this. Normally I don't plan the general warm up first, but I'm going to put it in there now, and then I'm going to circle back round. So I'm going to go here, general warm up. This goes. And I only want to spend about 3 minutes on these. About 2 minutes, so 30 seconds each, which again, already in my mind is like, is it worth it? I don't know. But I'm going to put a little marker there just in case, just to give me an idea of where I want to be. So that's already going to take me into the 5-minute range. But now I want to think about how long do I need for the workout. So when I look at this, I think, okay, should I separate it out into 10-minute blocks? 10-minute on back squat, 10-minute on shoulder press, 10-minute on deadlift. If I did that, it would have me starting this at the 25-minute mark. And then I would get all this time for the workout. Okay, so 30 minutes for that. But then I think, well, do I need as much time on the shoulder press as I do on the back squat? And the answer is no. The shoulders are smaller, they fatigue quicker. We don't need as much prep for that. What about the deadlift relative to the back squat? They're probably similar, honestly. I would probably even go a little less time on the deadlift, potentially. I could go back and forth there.
No, I agree with you, because I think you're pretty warm too. Like the squat will warm your deadlift up as well.
Right. So if I do that, if I've got in here 3 to 25, I've got 22 minutes for the specific warm-up. Okay, 22. So if I've got 22 minutes there, I've got 30 minutes for the workout. And if I just give you guys a little, here, what about this one, Jay? Ready?
Uh-oh. What is this?
Look at that. Look at that.
This is a work of art, and we will be selling it as an NFT at the end of this episode. Correct, Cody? They can buy it on OpenSea?
I don't know what
They can, if they know what an NFT is and what OpenSea is.
So that's
DT,
35, 45, 55.
I have a question, DT. Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
you were talking about the different time domains for back squat versus strict press versus deadlift. Is this a workout where you would consider mandating like a time frame? Like, let's say the back squat, we're going to set it on every 3-minute clock, something like that. And that way we know we can kind of tell them when to lift.
Not for individual lifts, but for the movement itself. So I would say, all right, you 3, 2, 1, go. We start doing back squats. You have until the 10-minute mark to get through your lifts. And I have a specific rep scheme. I would say, hey, do 5, 3, 2, and then get into your 1, something like that. And at that 10-minute mark, we're stripping down the bar and we're getting ready to rack it up for the shoulder press. And then I'd say, all right, from 10 to 20, you now have 10 minutes to go through your shoulder press. So we're going to do your warm-ups in here too. You're going to go a set of maybe 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. And then I do the same for the deadlift. So they're actually they're doing the loading and then when they're ready, they can start their ones. And when they start that 1, that's going to be their first attempt for the 3.
Cool.
So that right now, that's what I'm with. I've got these like 3 10-minute slots, but I'm not going to say, all right, every 3 minutes, you're going to do a new set. It's just a logistical nightmare, honestly. And we're probably going to be there's going to be people sharing bars and racks and all that stuff. So it's easier for me as a coach to get around and help people more if I'm just free flowing and checking in than if I was just doing like a 7x2 squat snatch, where I might then structure it like, group 1, you're going to go at 0, group 2, you're going to go at 2. and so on and so on.
I think that's
So
a good
I
point
would
to
mandate
bring
the
up.
time, but different.
I think it's a good point to bring up because a lot of people get stuck in doing things just one way. Like for the snatch, a 7x2, maybe I do want it more structured versus something like this. I may want to keep it a little bit looser, a little bit more free, let people go when they feel like they're ready to go. People are partnering up, and that allows you to kind of move around and float around as the coach.
And I want to be clear. When you said the 5-3-2 rep scheme, that's going to happen during this specific warm-up.
No. So because now this is the thought process is like 10 minutes is not going to be enough time for all that. So now if you look, I've got 22 minutes for the specific warm-up. I think I'm going to steal time from the specific, and I'm going to flesh out more time for the back squat. I'm going to keep the shoulder press where it is, and I'm going to go deadlift a little more time. So we're going to get to that now. Okay, because I don't want 10 minutes for each of these. So I've got 22 minutes. And I'm gonna jump around here. Again, this is a unique workout. So in my mind, I'm starting at the 25.
I think you actually only have 20 for the record. You only have 20 because you took 2 for the general. So you have from 5.
Yeah.
So you've got 20 minutes.
CJ, that's why you're here.
I am the second best lesson planner in the world.
For the record, for everybody watching, like I purposely told DT not to prepare for this at all. Like we're seeing her thought process in real time here.
Yeah, and this is what it's all about, right? Like she's writing stuff out and then thinking about it, and now we're going back and making changes.
Right. So thank you to Jason Ackerman for correcting that I only have 20 minutes for the specific warm-up. So what do I do in this time if this is the plan I want to go with? Well, as a coach, what do I need to see? Well, I already told them I need to make sure spines are safe, and I need to make sure we have range of motion. So I want to get them on an empty barbell, and I want everyone in the class to have their own barbell if they can. If they can't, we'll just partner up and we'll share a barbell. But I'm going to go through just a complex. So it would be, I would probably go back squat. Oh, sorry. Shoulder press, deadlift, and I would go 5 reps of each. Now, I'm also thinking, well, do I want to go deadlift, shoulder press, back squat, and build and then load that way? So the last thing that they've touched is the back squat, because that's what they're going to go into first. These are all the things I'm like grappling with. But I also am like, well, who's in my class? Is that going to confuse people if I reorganize the warm-up? So I'm going to keep it this way because people can just quite easily get the barbell onto their back and set their stance. And these reps are specifically for them to get warm, but also for me to see, what am I looking for? Spines and range of motion. So I'm going to say, get your feet shoulder width, brace your belly down, and everybody watch me. You want to sit back and down, you're going to pause, and I'm going to say stand and back up. We're going to do 5, and I'm going to call those out. So these would all be coach-led. Okay, coach-led. Sorry if it's a little messy there. So we run through that, and I'm going to pause them in the bottom of the squat. I'm going to pause them at the top of the press, and I'm going to pause them in the setup of the deadlift and at the top because I want to see. And I think that's going to be enough reps because I'm pausing them for me to take a look at a general overview of what kind of movement we've got for the next piece. But I also just don't want to, the back squat and the shoulder press are a little different, but the deadlift, I want to see what they look like when they're in the setup with bumper plates on the bar, because that's a position that needs to be taught too. So if this is going to take me, what do we have? I'm going to go right here because I did say I was going to do that little warm-up, right? I also want them to get a barbell out during that time. So you can see that 0 to 5 minutes is getting real tight. It's getting in there. So here, 20 minutes. How long would this take? Let's say it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Let's go 5 minutes. That takes me to 10. Okay, now again, I'm like, well, how many people do I have in my class? Do I have 18 people like I had today, or do I have 6? That's going to determine how long I need for this. Here's a rule of thumb for everybody on the call. plan for 5 more people than you ever expect to get in a class. Like, even if you're like, there's no way that's going to happen, because one day it's going to happen and you're going to be like, thank goodness I did that. So for me, I'm going to plan for 20, 25 people in my class. So I'm going to say I need about 5-10 minutes for this. 5 minutes if everybody has their own barbell, and I probably need more like 10 if I have to go through that twice. All right, but we'll stick with this for now. Now I have 15 minutes left for that specific part 2. So if this is, let's call this specific 1. Now I have specific 2. And specific 2 is loading. All right, so what happens now? A lot of people, a lot of plates. Guys, I need you to grab some bumper plates that you're able to do a shoulder press with. Now, some people are not going to be able to do that. They're not going to be able to, on any barbell, put bumper plates on their plate and do a shoulder press. I'm going to suggest that they go lighter on their barbell if they need to, so that they can get some bumper plates on. And if they can't, I'll just have them with the change plates, and they just, for the deadlift, will just hover at mid-shin. It's the best we can do at that point. So light, what's going to be light? Because what do I want to see? I want to see when they're down in that setup that they can take slack out of the bar in the deadlift. They can get that neutral spine position. And when they lift, they understand to lock in their spine as they pull up and down. So whatever that is going to be for them. And if they're not sure, I'll just go over and help them out. I'll tell them to stay on a barbell. I'm not worried. But what I'll do here is, again, the same thing. 5 reps of all 3 of those movements on the floor, not at the rack. So they're just going to pick it up and do their thing. This should take about 10 minutes to get through that by getting the plates on, calling them through reps, pausing them. And now I feel pretty happy that I've seen what I want to see. Then, if this is, where are we at? 10 minutes, 5 minutes here, that's 15, and then 10. We're at 25 already, right there. So I have no time left. There's no break. There's no talk about safety, putting the bar on the rack. There's none of that stuff. And this is a big thing that we need to address is safety. How do we bail? How do we set up the pegs? Who's going to partner with who? How do we load the bar? How do we unload the bar? Do we have any transition between back squat to press to deadlift? So when I look back at this plan now, I'm like, okay, this is not the right plan. This is me trying to do too much in the beginning for the sake of it. What am I going to do? Well, I think, honestly, what I would do is this. I would probably go like this. This is what I do all the time. Like, okay, that was not going to work. Let's get rid of that general warm-up. That's stupid. That's not going to happen. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this.
I can't believe we came this far and she's literally starting over. This is crazy.
This is my world. This is my world. Yeah, for something, especially this kind of workout, it's so
we're basically back to a clean slate at this point. You're back to 0.
Yep.
Okay.
Because it's not going to work. It's just
except for now you know what's going to work and what's not going to work.
Yeah.
Well, and it might have worked. Maybe I ran with that, but I think what I'm going to do is I want to do more time in the lift. Like, I want more time for the workout. And I think what I need is about 40 minutes. So if I think I need 40 minutes, I'm going to go like this right here. And I think what I'm going to do is do those warm-up sets in the hour, in the workout itself. So let's go 30. Let's go 40. Let's do that. And then we'll go back squat, shoulder press, and deadlift. And now, look what I have. General warm-up is... How long, Jay? How many minutes, Jay? How many minutes?
Got 12. There we go.
Too slow. So that general warm-up that I wanted to do, I think has to just kick the bucket. And if you've ever taken one of my classes, I love jumping jacks. It's like my favorite warm-up of all times. I love jumping jacks. and I love mountain climbers, and I love holding in the bottom of a squat. I love those. So I think what I might do today is get everybody's barbell out, get rid of the general warm-up, and get them right on the barbell. I know that's frowned upon, but
we're getting
depending on
we're updating the update at this point.
Say again?
You changed it, and now you're changing what you changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what it takes.
It's not.
And by the way, Joby,
it's
DT's going to post a picture of this, so you don't have to write it down. We're going to share the picture of the final draft.
Yeah, and maybe the one I did before, which I'm happy to write up again, works for your gym, Joby. I don't think it would work for what I need to do with my people.
Joby's working on his empty reps, so it wouldn't have worked for him. He needs this.
All right. So we've got 12 minutes. Back to the drawing board. General, specific, blend. My favorite.
It's like coffee. It's a blend. Yeah.
It's a blend. Okay, general, specific, blend. So I would do a little bit of general, like just jumping jacks, like a minute of work, just jumping jacks, high knees, arm circles, good mornings, lunges. I would just do a whole bunch of stuff in there. Maybe take 2 minutes to do it. I do think that's important, depending on who you have. But then I get right to the barbell. Right to the barbell and do the same thing I said before. I'd go back squat. I'd go shoulder press. And then I'd go deadlift. And I'd still do 5 reps of everything. I would still do that. But I would try and get that done in 5 minutes. Again, same thing. So that'd take me to 8 minutes. Okay. I'll put that in here. I'm going to use my fancy one. 8 minutes. There we go, right there. Now, how long do I have left? 7 minutes. I got 7 minutes. I still think at this point it's possible to get some weight on the bar. But I have to negotiate. I have to move on because I am not going to have enough time to do the stuff I need to do in the workout. And because this is a heavy day and we do have a little bit more downtime in between sets and lifting, I'm going to go around and make sure that I help people that need the most help at first, and then I can get around the others. So I've got 7 minutes left. So what happens in that 7 minutes is now where we talk about rack etiquette, loading, bailing, safety, the logistics of the workout. So here is, we'll call it specific 2, but it's really teaching. I'll go rack, etiquette, and bailing, and loading. So I bring everybody over to the rack, and there'll be a bar already set up at the rack, so I don't have to waste time doing that. And I'll first show them, hey, pegs need to be just below the shoulders. Okay, when I get under the bar, hands on the bar, come underneath, I stand up, I take 1 step back, I brace, I'm going to squat down all the way. I'm going to pause, I'm going to come back up, and then when I come in, it's going to be a clink, clink, look, look, hands off the bar. Clink, clink, look, look, hands off the bar. And then the next person goes, now what happens if I can't get out the back? Well, clear behind me, everybody. I go down, I try to come back up, I can't get it. Hips forward, bar goes back, nobody's spotting. So it's really critical when you see somebody back squatting, do not walk behind them. Clips always on the bar if there's plates on the bar, and plates need to be away from the lifting area. They need to be in front of the athlete or way away from them on the side. Here's what you're going to do. Oh, and then I go over the shoulder press. Okay, shoulder press, same thing, but now we're not squatting. We're same thing. Watch my legs, they stay straight. Brace, head and punch. Come back down, clink, clink, look, look, hands off the bar, we're good to go. Same thing. Then when we get to the deadlift portion, we can deload the bar, just to some lighter plates. We take it off the rack. We're going to drop it down, spread out on the floor, and that's when we roll into the deadlift. And here's what the deadlift looks like with plates. I'll show them. You do 1 rep, you can drop from the top, okay? Now, that might be a lot. That might be a lot for you right now, but don't worry, because this is going to be pretty slow as we're moving through the class. Here's what you need to do. You need to find somebody that is about the same height as you, roughly. It doesn't matter if you're lifting the same weights, because we can move weight off the bar. But if you know somebody that lifts similar to you, go ahead and grab them. We're going to spend 15 minutes on the back squat, and here's where the numbers come in. You're going to do 5, 3, 2, and then you're going to go 1, 1, 1. If I think that's going to take too long, I would just take out that set of 2 and have them get right into their set of 1, because we have to remember that we're not doing a 1 rep max. So we're going to get up there pretty quick. We could add another one there if we wanted before we started the set, but it'll be somewhere like that. At the 30-minute mark, we're going to stop. And then we're going to deload the bar, and we're going to get to the shoulder press. And for your shoulder press, we're going to do a 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. Again, we could, like you said, Jay, if we want to add that extra rep, we can. I'm fine with that. But yeah, it would be like 5 lifts, 10 minutes. Let's go. Then 40-minute mark, we're pulling the bar off the rack, and we're going to do the same rep scheme as the back squat. 5, 3, maybe not even a 2 on this one, honestly. I think I might just do 4 sets of 1. But these are your work sets. These are your work sets. These are your work sets. It'd be something like that. But right before we start every new movement, so right here and right here, we're going to have a talk, quick little recap on what we're doing so that we're not lost and we know that the plan. And then we'll rock and roll. So essentially, Cody, back to your question, I'm going to start the clock at here. I'll do another fancy pen because I learned how to do this. Right here. So it's going to go 0 to 15. Actually, let me change that. It's going to still go 0 to 15. 0. At 15, we switch. And then at 25, we switch. And then at 40, we're done. So that's your 40 minutes. And I personally think that's the best way to run the CrossFit Total, because it gives you an opportunity to still work with them during the loading, but you're getting a bit of a chance to see them on an empty barbell. Again, I have to negotiate. I would love to get them on some light loads in that general specific blend, but it's probably not going to happen. And I think what I missed here is this. I would do like 1 to 2 minutes of like jumping jacks and things because they make me happy and fun. I think that's it. I think that's the way to go. At the end, we come together and we do the things. Everyone come on in. Anyone get any PRs? I think it's really important that we bring everybody together at the end, right at the end, when everyone's just fired up. You know, you get into it, you got your AC/DC on, and we always use that at seminars, right? For AC/DC, but I truly do put AC/DC on. I think it's so fun. Welcome to the Jungle is my like walkout song.
First
it
of
just
all,
gets me fired up.
That's Guns N' Roses. That's Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I know.
Because we have to revoke your citizenship.
Back to black.
We'd have to revoke.
AC/DC, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, 80s rock.
Gotcha.
But,
yeah, 80s rock, all the stuff. And you know what? Towards the end, you're like, oh, big lift on platform 1. You can have some fun with it, right? Someone's pulling something and they're all fired up and everyone comes around and everyone bring it in. Hands up if you did something you've never done on a back squat before. Boom. Hands up if you did the shoulder press. Boom. Who thought they couldn't do that on a deadlift? Hands up. And everyone's just fired up. It's like, all right, guys, heck of a job. Let's do a team cleanup. When your equipment's away, you grab a friend's equipment. Let's put that stuff away, clean it down. Let's meet over by the board. I need all your numbers. And then we're going to meet on the turf or wherever for a stretch, or maybe not. Today's the day that maybe we cannot do that stretch because we just had too many fish to fry. I don't know where that statement comes from. Too many fish to fry, but
Cody, look that up.
It's happening.
Where's that statement come from?
Yeah,
I'm not as fast as Jamie. I'll try.
Yeah, so this is a tough one, but it's doable.
I think I stole this from, I think it was Steve Haydock. It might have been Eric O'Connor. On days like this, you get your members to yell like big money or something like fun when they're going for a PR, kind of like what you're suggesting. And that can really bring up the energy. Like, hey, if you're going for a 1 rep max, everyone on your rack has to yell big money, and then everybody's eyes turn to see who's going. It's really like you can make this, and it should be like 80s rock, screaming going on. Like this is like a hype workout. Like people are having a good time. This is so we're gonna sell this. Whoever right now, Mike is winning $10 donation. Whoever puts the biggest donation in the chat will get will own the NFT for this lesson plan.
Oh, wait, Amanda had a good question. How do you feel about setting up a deadlift bar before starting the back squat if equipment? Yeah, all that stuff. I never have that luxury, but yeah, if you have a couple of people in there and you want to set up bars, yes, do it for sure. That would work.
Well, the only thing I would say about that, because I saw that question, Cody's got it started, is for most affiliates, the same bars are going to be used for all 3 lifts. So it might not be feasible to have the deadlift bar waiting, because that might be the bar we need to use for squats and press, etc.
Oh, yeah, and also, I'm not a stickler on this. I think that it's not always possible, but you want to try and keep everything the same from class to class. So in terms of a fair playing field, but if you don't care about that, yeah, do the thing.
Yeah, and then
I think that's it.
All right. So, and funny enough, this is pretty much how I would run it. When you were drawing it out at first, I was like, man, that 30 minutes is going to be tight. And this is kind of how I would run it. I think the only thing I probably did differently, and I think yours is better, is almost like the 8 to 15 there is kind of like warm up time. Like get your bars, like at 15 minutes, you have like maybe 1 or 2 additional warm up sets, but you probably got a pretty significant weight on the bar. And I agree with you, like condense the shoulder press. You need like 2 warm up sets. And then for the deadlift, you're pretty warmed up, but you want to leave a little bit in the, bank a little bit of extra time if someone's going for that big PR. So
I like that, Jay. I think, again, depending on your class, I wouldn't spend 7 minutes on that etiquette stuff. But I do think it's important. But I think, yeah, if we could squeeze in a quick set in there, but it would have to go back squat, empty, back squat, press, deadlift, empty barbell, discussion about the rack. All right, let's do 1 warm-up set of each of these. I just don't know if it's possible, but
yeah, and
you got to get the bar to the back rack and all the things. But
yeah, but I mean, I think this is a phenomenal. This is awesome. Will you sign this so when the winner gets it, they know? All right. So this is fantastic. Peek, there you go. Peek inside DT's brain. Are we going to do a second workout, Cody?
Oops.
Oh, I don't think so. Not at 49 minutes. I think we're gonna have to save the second one for another time.
All right. Well,
we could do it quick. We could do it quickly.
All right. Let's see. Let's
how
do
good.
this.
How good are you, DT?
Let's do the following.
I don't think it's. I don't know if it's that, but I think we could say how just like 10,000 foot perspective. This is the workout. Here's how the plan, because this was this was challenging, like meaning the template I usually follow, I had to change a little bit to get there. But on a regular Metcon, I think it could be a little clearer.
All right. So first of all, let's point out DT, world's best lesson planner. Cody found it. It was on Google. It said DT, world's best lesson planner, and even her CrossFit level 4, thousands of classes under her belt. this is an example of like, cool, I had a plan and I had to go back and make some changes. And I think that's what makes you a great coach, right? It's not the fact that you just sat down and wrote a lesson plan. It's that you thought about it, you made the appropriate changes. Let's do the following, Cody. Quick commercial break, and then we'll put DT on a 10-minute clock for workout 2. She will talk through it. I will keep my lips sealed, and we will get inside the brain of DT. Hit that commercial, and we'll be right back.
Hey guys, Fern here. Real quick, I just want to share a quick success story from one of the hundreds of gyms that we've been able to help inside of Affiliate U. And our mission and best hour of their day is to ultimately improve and grow the greater CrossFit community by building better boxes and creating better businesses with better coaching staff so we can bring CrossFit to the masses. Check it out. And if you think we can help you, don't hesitate to reach out.
My name is John Wells, and I am the owner of CrossFit Aries in Wilmington, Massachusetts. At the time, when I was negotiating for purchase, the gym was not in a good spot. They were barely taking in enough revenue to cover basic expenses, barely even the rent. Membership base, there was a solid foundation, but there wasn't a lot. It was under 50 members at the time, and I knew kind of going into it, it was going to take a lot of work to get it up and running to where I wanted it to be, but I knew I had the passion and I knew I had the drive to get it to there. I just didn't know exactly where to start. The thing that stood out to me about Affiliate U was, Fern and Ackerman. I'd listened to them on the podcast for years prior to actually signing the dotted line and purchasing my affiliate, and they were down to earth guys. They were in the CrossFit space. They were CrossFitters. They thought like me. They looked at the same things as me, and it wasn't just some other program trying to build a business. It was like somebody in your community coming out and offering their hand for help.
Down to earth. Look at us, down to earth. Fern's not down to earth. Fern's extremely arrogant.
Got those new bobbleheads ready yet with the bigger Fern head?
Yeah, the new bobbleheads are coming out. Fern's head is to scale in what's happening in there. All
Fern's
right.
head is to scale and Jason's nose.
All right. Cody, you tell DT the workout. I'm going to set a clock.
Got it.
Wait, are you starting the clock now?
No. Once you hear the workout.
Okay.
All right, DT, are you ready?
I'm not going to interrupt you. It's going to be 10 minutes of DT explaining how she does it.
All right. Yeah, we're going to get to focus here. There we go. DT, the workout is 10 rounds, 7 push jerks, 135, 95.
Hold on.
7 bar facing burpees. Yep. And 21 double unders.
Oof. I'm not doing this one.
Okay.
And go.
10 minutes on the clock, DT. Let's go.
Time's running.
So, got it. 7 push jerks. That's got to be less than 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds. We'll have a little wiggle room in here for fatigue. So we want 130 to 2 minutes around. That puts you at 15 to 20 minutes. But I really think that some people do minute rounds, so it could be under 15. Some of your fast cats. Let's see. Okay. Now we're talking. Let's see on timeline. So we got a 0, 60, 50, 3. This is going to be messy. All right, what do we say? 20 minutes. So we want to start this at the 30-minute mark. We want a little break in there, a little pee break, I call it the hustle break. And then we've got 24 minutes. Let's see here. So warm up. 24. In here, I want to do a practice. Let's give that 2 minutes. And I want to see that they can do a good amount of reps. So we're going to go 5 push jerk, 5 bar facing burpees, and we're going to do 21 double unders. That's 2 minutes, so that puts me at 25. Now I have 22 minutes left. I want to spend 22 minutes. Let's see, 22. Let's go. I want the push jerk to be the last thing we do so that they're hot on the bar. The bar is hot. Push jerk. I want to go double under. And actually, I am going to put the burpee after because we got the bar out. Oops. Bar facing burpee. All right, so 2 minutes. Now, what are we at? 22. If I take 2 minutes here, now we're at 20. 2 and 2, that's 4, that's 21. Let's just put that at 20, easy math. Now I have 17 minutes left for push jerk and double under. I want to go 10 minutes, push jerk. So now I've got 7 minutes for double under. I'm going to spend 7 minutes. I'm going to spend 4 minutes on the dub. Is this a 3 or a 5? I couldn't remember what I said. Let's go 5. 5 to 15. 4, that's going to give me 9. That's 19. That's 20. Good. And in that case, I would probably go 3. That's going to give me a couple of minutes. I lost my math a little bit. But it's maybe going to give me 2 minutes of general warm-up, which will include, it'll be actually a general specific, and I'd do maybe a 6 count burpee in here as a warm-up. For my double under, I would teach that the main focus of the double under would be for them to understand that it's exhausting to do a power jump. I think people that they don't realize that the little jumps are very different in terms of energy than the big jumps. So I would do a series of no rope. I'm not going to write it down for sake of time, but I would do a series of just jumping on their feet and then doing like 1, 2, 3 power jump, 1, 2, 3 power jump, and then add in the penguin tap at the top. And even for people that can do double unders, it's just good to wake the brain up. And then I would let them know that all they have to do to get better at double unders is minimize the little jumps in between the power jumps. And then if you can do, in terms of scaling, if you can do double unders and you can do a good 10 in a row, you can do all these today. If you can do only a few double unders, you're going to do 21 reps, but you're going to count every jump you do, whether it's a single or a double. So maybe you do 3 singles and then 1 double, that's 4 reps. If you absolutely cannot do double unders, you're going to do singles, and we're going to do the same reps. I think a big thing that sticks out here, and this is what I would look at, is the volume. It's 70 push jerks, it's 70 burpees, and it's 210 double unders. So you can't get caught in any one thing. So I would highly encourage people today that maybe if they wanted to do the load, they would go down in weight, go down in reps. They could go 5, 5, and then do the 21. Or the load would have to go down to a load that they can go unbroken on the push jerk. The bar facing burpee is going to be under 45 seconds, and the double unders have to be under 30 seconds. There's not a day for you to be doing 4 push jerks and then putting it down. So you got to be able to move it well. So when I get into the double under, the goal is just to have them get used to the timing and the neurological connection, then get the rope in their hand and do a test. I do a 30-second test, not 45 seconds, even though I'm going to let them maybe push to that. Do a little test, show of hands. Who's going to do singles? Great. Who's going to go count all the jumps they do, whether it's a mixture of doubles and singles? Great. Who's going to do the doubles? and do all the 21 or cut the reps, great. And I'm just surveying like where hands are going based on what I saw. For the push jerk, I think I would do a couple of strict presses. I want to see their overhead capacity and their pressing strength. I would do a couple of push presses, and it wouldn't be dip and hold, dip, drive, slow. It would just be like, hey guys, go ahead and drive your knees forward and squeeze your butt. Maybe a couple of dip drives actually. Knees squeeze, and then you're going to push press. But then what I would do is get the bar out of the hands and do some jump and land drills just so that they understand the timing of the hips to the hands, get them on the bar and do that and get a good amount of full reps in on the empty barbell. Then I think a big component of this workout is cycling that bar. So I would hold them at the top and have them come down for a 1, 2, 3. As soon as the bar hits the shoulders, the push jerk in, holding, stand, 1, 2, 3. Probably do a couple of coach led reps with that. And then have them do 5 on their own, just so I could see if they're missing the timing on the way down or on the way up. And then I would have them do a bar facing burpee for space without any bumper plates on. Just get them down on the ground, show them what it is, show them how they can get over it, step in, jump in. But again, the key, if you're slow on bar facing burpees, that number has to go down today. We can't be spending a minute on bar facing burpees. So I would probably do maybe a little test there too. Just, hey, let's do 7 with the bar on the ground. Let's see how that goes. Set the clock. Then I would have them get some weight on the bar. So you can see here, I put bar facing burpee after push jerk. I'd probably integrate those two a little bit. All right, now we're gonna do 3 sets of 5 push jerk, building up. That second weight on the bar should be your workout weight. And if you're like, whoa, I need more to get to that weight. I'm like, it's too heavy for today, because you should be able to throw that weight on the bar almost immediately and do it. We don't want you to do that, but you should be able to. That's how moderately light it should feel. And then I'll just have them, after they've done 5 push jerks, do a couple of bar facing burpees over the top, so we can still I can walk around and correct people's push jerks, but also make sure the room's safe for the workout. Then the test would be, I need to see them do all that in under a minute. I want to see that whole thing done in a minute. That's not going to take a minute. It might not take a minute in the workout, but where are we for time? Because I'm just rambling here.
45 seconds.
Great with that. All right. So now bathroom break, go. I am going to do this during the break. That's not a time for you to do nothing. You hustle, you get around everyone. That's the wrong way. How many reps are you doing? I recommend you step over the bar. You double unders, you're tripping. Let's go for attempts. And then when I get into the workout here, I do little eyeballs, because I'm going to assess to make sure that that first round that I've got people where they need to be, and I'm going to get round and help people, whether that's putting some weight down or not if I messed it up. But the big thing focus for today is going to be push jerk on the timing is going to be fast hips, fast hands, standing it up. Fast hips, fast hands, standing it up. I don't want to see muted hips. That would be a little focus too. Safety first, then efficiency. Then we cool down. We take a second. We walk around the room together, chit chat. We come together in the middle. The equipment's still out on the floor. I don't want anyone putting anything away. We do a stretch together while we're all breathing heavy and suffering together. And then we bring it in and we congratulate each other. And then I say, all right, let's do a team cleanup after we've done some stretches. And I need you guys to come over. I'm going to yell your names out. You're going to yell your score and tell me whether you did it RX'd or scaled. And I'm going to write down the board. And that will be that. So again, 10 minutes is quick, but that'll be a general flow of what I would do.
No, I think, obviously this isn't completely written out like you did for the CrossFit Total. And now you'd probably go back and tighten it up a little bit, but you got the gist of it out there, and just a recap for the viewers, the very first thing DT did was figure out, the basic math method as we do at the level 2, right? Like, hey, this is how long it's going to take. And I'm going to, focus from there. Yeah, there we go. Stimulus. What's next?
So stimulus is time and feel. Okay. Well, actually, that's not true. It would go.
And one of the things I even heard you say was less than 30 seconds, but then you have to account a little bit for fatigue, right? Like that model only works if you think about that, because your shoulders are going to be smoked after a handful of rounds from the jerk into the burpees. Heart rate's up on the double unders, probably taking a little breath in there. Yeah. This is right from the level 2 manual, by the way. Yeah. Right from that level 2 manual. Yeah, I think that's a fun workout. Hey, the other thing I'm going to steal from you that I really like, you've said it a couple times today, team cleanup. I like that. I was wondering, because you said, hey, we're going to stretch first, then team cleanup, which I like. I think it also, something that's come up a couple times on the show and in our coaches calls is, okay, well, how do I get people to stick around when they're done with the workout? And I think, they have to know that there's value in the cool down, right? And if their equipment is still out and you're stretching them, in my opinion, that leads them to think like, I'm not done. So they're going to stick around. Once they clean up their equipment, it's an easy excuse to slip out the door. But if you're stretching and then they still then go to clean up when they're done, team cleanup, I think that's really cool. I think that's a very cool idea that I've not seen done.
It's a good group management tool. You got to get everyone together while their endorphins are running. They're pumped. They're like proud of themselves. They want to talk to each other. Everyone, come on in, take a seat. Go to the person that looks like they're the most tired. We'll hover around you, but we're gonna do about 3 to 4 minutes of just some stretching on different parts. We'll talk about the workout, and then we can start to clean up. But what I can do for this workout is I'll write up the lesson plan I would do for it, and I can send it over to you. Cool. Because this doesn't really tell you anything, the way it looks.
No, what we wanted to do was see if you could do it, like if we gave you a napkin and you had 10 minutes before class starts, can you come up with something that is going to help you run that class from 0 to 60?
Yeah, and the truth is, if you showed up for this class,
tips for.
Go ahead.
I think the tips for anybody that doesn't have a lot of time is just think of the major points of performance for each movement that are going to help keep people safer. So think spines, I guess spines would be the big one. But think about one point of performance that you want to really focus on for that day and have that be your main teaching point for each thing. And keeping people safe and getting a lot of reps in and getting them warm. I think something that we've moved away from is, we want to teach, but we still need to be getting them hot. And they don't get better by listening to us. So we have to be more succinct in our teaching, and we have to get them moving more. And that's why I love the touch points on things like, hey, let's do some single unders. All right, let's do a few burpees. All right, let's do a few push-ups, whatever order you want to go in, some strict press. Boz calls it a graduated warm-up, where every round it gets a little more complex. So we could go strict press, we could do some push-ups, and we could do some single unders, and then we could do a push press if we wanted. We could do some burpees in place, and then we could do some double, single, and then we could go to some push jerks, jumping over the bar, and then go to doubles. And that's a great way of also just looking at how you can get touch points and go back and forth between each thing versus just going, okay, now we do double under, now we do blah, blah, now we do this. So there's so many ways to do these things, but I think we cannot lose sight of the fact that the warm-up is just that. It's they came to work out, so let's help them get hot, let's help them get warm, let's help you see, and let's get them working out so they can get some results.
Love it. Any questions from we got one all right, we got to get wrapping up. Cody's got to get out of here. We're not going to take any questions for that reason, but this was fantastic. And I think the listeners, the viewers, if you're listening to this episode, make sure you head over to our YouTube channel so you see it. This was fantastic. Cody, for the Best Hour Instagram, we will get these posted. Denise will get them posted for both the total and the and this little Metcon. And that was really awesome. Anything to add, Cody or DT, before we wrap this show up?
If you guys liked it, just make sure that you like this video. The more likes we have on this video, well, one, it's gonna make me really happy, but two, it's gonna let DT know that, you know, we want her back, right? We need some more DT lesson plans like this. So if you liked it, you found it valuable, make sure you give it a thumbs up so that we can get DT back on the show with us.
Absolutely. DT, world's best lesson planner. You are awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. Check her out, Denise Thomas, and also check out the coach's prep course if you want to become a better coach, period. Right, DT? Where can they find out more about that?
Yeah, they can go to my personal one and message me. I think on coach development program or DT lesson plans. And if any of you are looking to take that level 4 and you need some guidance, just reach out to me. Don't reach out to Ackerman. He's got the title, but I don't know.
Please reach out to DT.
If they have any questions, yeah, we can always do a Q&A for sure. So
cool. And rumor on the street is we're going to be seeing a little more of you. I know we've been talking about it, but hopefully the team gets their act together and we see a little more DT around best hour of their day. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow on The Progression.
May the force be with you.